Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Your friend and fishing expert here, ready to break down the week ahead. We're looking at the forecast from the 5th to the 11th of January 2026. Now, I've been poring over the charts, my friends, and this week is shaping up to be a classic winter battle of wits. We've got a full moon hangover, shifting weather, and fish that'll make you work for every single bite. But don't you worry, because working for it is what makes it fun. And I'm going to give you the blueprint for success. This isn't a week for just dropping a line and hoping. It's a week for strategy, for finesse, and for outsmarting some seriously sluggish fish. Get ready to learn why a tiny change in your presentation can mean the difference between a skunk and a bucketful. First up, let's talk about our main targets for this time of year. We're going to focus on walleye, northern pike, and those ever-popular panfish, crappie, and bluegill. Now, these are the kings of the ice belt right now, and each one requires a different approach. Let's start with the marble eyes, the walleye. In the dead of winter, these guys get lazy. They're not going to chase a bait across the lake. You have to find them, and they're going to be holding in deeper water, think 20 to 40 feet. Look for main lake points, sunken humps, and the sharpest drop-offs you can find on your map. My advice is to get out there well before sunset, drill your holes, and be ready for that prime time bite that happens right as the sun kisses the horizon. For tackle, you'll want two setups. Your primary weapon should be a medium-action ice rod with a jigging spoon, like a classic buckshot rattle spoon, tipped with a minnow head. That rattle can call them in. But for when they get finicky, have a dead stick or a tip-up nearby with a live minnow hooked just under the dorsal fin on a plain hook. Sometimes that subtle, natural action is the only thing they'll commit to. Next, the northern pike, the big, toothy critters. During this midwinter period, pike are all about energy conservation. They're looking for the biggest, easiest meal they can find. That's why your best bet is setting up tip-ups on the edges of any remaining deep weed beds or along the outside turns of deep points. They use these as ambush locations. You're not jigging for these guys, you're playing the waiting game with big baits. I'm talking large golden shiners or even sucker minnows, 6 to 8 inches long. Set them about 2 to 3 feet off the bottom. When that flag flies, let them run with it for a good 5 to 10 seconds before you set that hook. Patience is key for these giants. And finally, let's talk panfish. This is where the real action can be. Crappies and bluegills will be schooled up tight. Look for deep basins on your lake map. The crappies will often be suspended, maybe 10 to 15 feet down over 30 feet of water, while the bluegills will be closer to the bottom. Your electronics are absolutely critical here. For crappies, a small tungsten jig with a plastic that has a subtle tail kick is deadly. For bluegills, a tiny jig tipped with a wax, worm, or spike, presented right on the bottom, is the ticket. Use a light, sensitive rod and a spring bobber to detect those incredibly light bites. It's a game of inches, my friends. Now let's get into the why. The conditions for this week are tricky. We're starting the week under the influence of a waning gibbous moon, which means bright nights. This can make the daytime bite a little tougher, especially for light-sensitive fish like walleye. The best action might be concentrated right at dawn and dusk. As for the weather, we're looking at a cold, stable start to the week, with temperatures hovering in the teens and 20s Fahrenheit. But I'm seeing a midweek shift. A system is moving in which will bring some snow and a slight warming trend. That instability, especially the drop in barometric pressure right before the snow arrives, could trigger a fantastic bite. Water temperatures under the ice are stable, right around 39 degrees Fahrenheit at the bottom, which is where fish will be to find the most comfortable conditions. Their metabolism is slow, so everything needs to be presented slowly and deliberately. All right, let's break this down day by day. Here is your fishing game plan. On Monday, the 5th of January, expect a weak bite. It's going to be cold and sunny with high atmospheric pressure. Following that recent full moon, the fish will be sluggish. Focus on that last hour of daylight for walleye and use very subtle presentations for panfish. Tuesday, the 6th of January, the bite will be caprizni. Conditions remain stable and cold. This is a day to drill lots of holes and stay mobile. Don't sit in one spot for too long. If you're not marking fish on your flasher, move. The fish that do bite will be aggressive, but they'll be few and far between. Wednesday, the 7th of January, things get interesting. In rating this day as a good bite, the sky will cloud over and you'll feel that pressure start to drop in the afternoon. This is the day you want to be on your best spot. The fish will feel the change coming and should go on the feed, especially from mid-afternoon into the evening. Thursday, the 8th of January, looks to be our best day. I'm calling it an excellent bite. We should see some light snow and the pressure will be low and steady. This is the day to be aggressive. Use rattling spoons for walleye and don't be afraid to jig higher in the water column to attract fish from a distance. The pike bite on tip-ups could be strong as well. Friday, the 9th of January, the bite will be good, but tapering off. The snow will likely have stopped, and the temperatures will be a few degrees warmer. The morning bite could still be very active as fish take advantage of the last of that low pressure. Action will likely slow down as the day progresses. Saturday, the 10th of January, we're back to a medium bite. The weather will start to clear, and high pressure will begin to build back in. The moon enters its third quarter, making for darker skies. This might favor an evening or after-dark walleye bite if you're up for it. The daytime will require more finesse again. And finally, Sunday, the 11th of January, expect a weak bite. It will likely be cold, clear, and sunny. High pressure will be firmly in place. This is a classic bluebird sky day after a front, which is always tough. Downsize your lines, your baits, and your movements. This is the day that tiny tungsten jig and a single wax worm will outfish everything else for panfish. So there you have it, friends, a week of ups and downs, but with a real window of opportunity midweek. Remember to be safe out there on the ice. No fish is worth taking a risk for. I wish you all the tightest of lines and the heaviest of fish. Now get out there and make some memories. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and please share your own fishing reports in the comments below. What are your plans for the weekend? What did you catch last week? I read every single one. Until next time, tight lines.